get going here. Okay, so hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I'm Lisa Twillie. I'm the director of the Women's Business Center at Maryland Capital Enterprises. And just to give you a little bit of information about what we do and who we are a nonprofit that helps entrepreneurs get started in business, or if you're already in business and trying to expand. We do business consulting, marketing consulting. We do training workshops such as this, all of which are free. All of our services are free. We also do small business loans. So if we can help you in any way, please reach out and we will be glad to do that. I will put my contact information in the chat and our website in the chat so that you can also see what else we do, what we have going on, different events and different workshops. Today we have Jessica Koch, who is the owner of Jessica Koch Consulting. And we're really excited because she does a lot of workshops for us and she is just full of knowledge and always excited to share it with you and help us out. So we appreciate her so much. But thank you all for joining us today. And if you have any questions, we'll pause different times for questions and you can also put them in the chat as well. I'll be keeping an eye on that. So, all right, thank you. Go ahead, Jessica.
Hello, everybody. It's happy Thursday. We are one day to Friday. And do you know we are 85 days left in this year? Yes, 85 days. So I am Jessica Koch. I am the Italian mother of 7. I have been speaking nationally for about 25 years, internationally for 3. I have clients in 8 countries at this point, and I run a firm that is a high-level sales and marketing consulting firm. We do LinkedIn and social media training, and we have a virtual assistant membership program helping everyone get those things checked off their checklist and done while you sleep, which isn't that wonderful. All right, so I would love for you guys to play with me a little bit. I know there's only a few of you on today, but it would be wonderful if you could put your name, maybe what you do, and where you're from in the chat. That would be fantastic if you're able to chat along with us. You have the opportunity, since this is such an intimate group, for us to really deep dive and do some custom stuff for you if that's what you would like to do. So if you have the ability to play like that, let us know in the chat and we can do some really focused work through this process for you. What we're focusing on today is how can we really make our sales count for what we have left in the year, right? Like I said, we have 85 days left in the year. And so you really want to make sure that you are getting as much out of this last final quarter as you possibly can before you blink your eyes. It's a brand new year and we're starting first quarter all over again, right? So I don't know about you, but the older I get, I swear the faster the cycle happens. I think that's definitely true. So, all right, well, it doesn't look like anyone's playing with us in the chat box today, which makes me incredibly sad. Nobody's telling us what you do or where you're from or any of those things. So we're just gonna run, and I will share with you information that hopefully I'll cover a broad enough spectrum that it will hit your specific industry or niche, or what you're trying to achieve. So away we go. Are we ready, Lisa? You ready? I think everyone's ready. We have all
Yes.
crickets in the chat box.
We're all ready.
All right.
I'm gonna put my stuff in there.
All right. Yeah, I'm from Solomon's Island, Maryland, personally. But I love the Eastern Shore, and I know that we have so many resources today, and we're going to be using a little bit of a PowerPoint and a little bit of live interaction. So let's start with the slideshow for now. We're going to pop in and out of this. So here we go. End of the year, right? 85 days. Does that make anyone else nervous? I know the countdown to Christmas is coming because, like I said, Italian mother of 7. We have 6 adults, but we also have a 10-year-old and some grandkids at this point. So Christmas is still a big thing around here. One of the ways you really can get, when you take a moment to plan, and this is one of the best and most important moments to put on your calendar, is planning. You should be planning your year. I suggest at least 3 days to plan out an outline for your year of what you'd like to occur, and at least a day in front of each quarter to kind of do a check-in and evaluate what did you achieve based on your yearly plan, and what do you need to achieve to get on track for the quarter you're in as you progress through the year with your plan. So one of the best ways to do that, so schedule a time. It could be a weekend, it could be 4 to 6 hours. You really need some time to plan. And there's all kinds of, I can go through all kinds of famous people with quotes and backgrounds to say having a plan is just something you got to do. So let's just all assume that we agree that having a plan is mega important. Okay. So when you're taking this time to plan, you want to look at where you've been, where you are now, and where you want to go, right? So there's several really great questions to start asking yourself. So whether we're talking about year or quarter, these formulas all can kind of work out for you. So you want to take a look at, how many customers did you pull in? How much did you make? How much was each customer worth to you? And then you're really beginning to work the numbers backwards, right? Because you want to figure out then how many more clients do you need to reach that goal. And the other thing you need to think about is, where did those clients come from? So what actions did you have to take in order to get with those current clients? So how many different meetings? So if I met with, 6 people in a week and only close 2, if I need 2 new people, that means I know I need at least 6 more meetings, because that's kind of your closing ratio, right? So I'm not trying to make, huge math problems and make your head spin with the equations, but you do want to have some finger on the pulse of what that looks like. And I gave you some kind of examples in this slideshow, just to say, if this is what you want, then this is how many clients you need, and the total number of meetings. And then, you can then figure out the total for the year, and then divide all these out and how many meetings you actually have to hold in order to reach the number of clients you want. And so that, when it all shook out of the tree of this example, we're looking at 7 meetings a month. Well, something else to think about is, because, not everyone, and I give another example here, but not everyone wants to do a one-on-one meeting, and not everyone's a speaker, right? But wouldn't you say, if you had a room full of, say, 20 or 30 people, even if it's a Zoom room, a virtual room, which is a little bit easier to speak in front of if you're not really comfortable speaking than if you're standing up on a stage. But if that's not your thing, think about a joint venture partner, someone who is a really good speaker, and doing a collaborative class together, so that you don't have to be the one on the spot, in the spotlight directly. If you don't want to be, you can kind of co-teach or have more of a interview style, letting the person who's really comfortable kind of lead the show and just add the pieces where your genius shows up and shines, right? So it's a little bit more comfortable to sing a duet than it is maybe to sing solo, right? So if you think about it that way, that's a really good way to save you from doing a gazillions of one-on-one meetings. But that being said, we are at 85 hot days left for the year. So we want to speed up the time warp here, right? So a couple of things. First of all, this is again kind of thinking about the entire year. So at the end of this year, some point, try to gift yourself 3 days. Gift yourself however many weeks you want with your family, but gift yourself 1 to 3 days that you give yourself to think and plan out what you want your business to achieve for next year, right? Because if you do take a really long, hard look at an entire year outline, you're really kind of looking at about 200 business days that you have to do work, to make meetings, to do the contracts, to call the follow-ups, to do the social media. You have 200, it's not very many days, right? Because you have to think about holidays and vacation and doctor appointments and sick days and all those things we can't plan for that happen in our lives. And there is a ton of stuff to do. You have to prepare proposals. You have to do tax paperwork. You have to do payroll. You have to, track your income. You have to network. Sometimes there's traveling involved. And then you're trying to also do self-development, right? And take classes like this or read books. And hopefully you have an accountability partner and you're in a mastermind. And oh, by the way, you got to actually serve the clients that you're taking care of and oversee business operations and admin and yada, 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 yada. Well, let me just say, and I didn't even mention social media yet. If you're a one-man band, right, this is a lot of stuff. One of the things you want to try to do is make sure that you're pre-planning, because that'll help you do it more effectively and efficiently, and make sure that it's making sense. Because if you do go through those questions we did in the very beginning and think about where most of your clients came from, how you ended up with that customer, then you can say, okay, well, I'm in these chambers, I'm in these networking things, and none of my clients came from any of that, or all of my clients came from all of that, right? So you need to figure out that what actions you are doing and where you're spending your time, as precious as you can see that it is, that it's actually yielding customers, right? So that's a huge important thing to think about, so that when you decide how you're going to spend these next 85 days, then you're going to know you're on the right road, right? We're going to get started, and we're going to get started on the right road because we only have, what did I say, 85 days. So your current customers, this is the fastest, shortest route to more customers that you have right now. This and actually your past meetings for the year. So take a look at who your current clients are and even who your past clients have been in the last 3 to 4 years. Make sure that you have a list of them. Make sure they're either in a CRM system, an Excel sheet, or on a really fancy yellow pad of paper with lines that you've written them all down. Like, have them all somewhere and a way to reach them. And start your plan for the next 85 days with them. Okay, give them a call. Send them an email, reach out to them on LinkedIn. And yes, I would probably do all three depending on how close you are with them, to say, hey, I'd just like to follow up and check in, see how you are, see where you are, see if I can help you more. Maybe they're not currently actively a client, but they were in the past. And then your ask for them is, you're going to start with what can you do for them and what's going on in their world. Can you share something that they're doing for their business? Can you, maybe they have an event or something coming up, or maybe they're promoting a charity thing. Maybe you can help them support that and make a post that on your social media, whatever it is that you can do that's kind of simple and easy. And then you're going to ask them if there's one person they can email introduce you to. And you want to make sure that it's either a text message introduction or an email introduction or a LinkedIn direct message introduction. Those are the best 3 ways to be introduced to someone, because this way you can follow up with them as well. And you're not just waiting for, the clouds to part and separate and the seas to part for someone to actually call you because someone told you, someone told someone about you, right? When you have that introduction done this way, you're a little bit more in the driving seat and you can follow up with them. And that's really, really important. Think about what you have. Think about your programs. When you make this call, you can start with, hey, I just also wanted to let you know, I have a brand new webinar or a brand new workshop that is really going to be perfect for a person who, and then explain who that person for, because it might be perfect for them. And they might raise their hand and say, oh, wait, I want to do that, Or you can even also say, because the holidays are coming, a really wonderful gift is, so if your workshop isn't that expensive, matter of fact, I have a client and they do this amazing 3-day business boot camp event. And I think the ticket is like $7 and the VIP upgrade is like $30 and they get this amazing detailed workbook, right? Well, one of the solutions we're doing for this client of mine is having them reach out to their past customers and the people that they have a relationship with, that who have big followings and have good circles and networks, and they do a lot of collaborating with. They're calling and saying, hey, if you have a prospect or a customer that you would really like to give a nice gift or a thank you to, please consider buying 1 to 5 tickets to our event and giving them out as gifts. So this is another kind of conversation you can be having with this person, your past customers, your like joint venture partners who can give the gift. Now, also, if you're doing a webinar or virtual event, which lots of people are now, or you have some sort of easier way to get a larger group where you can kind of give value, but also give your presentation, which if you don't have that set up, that's something really good to think about for the next year when you're doing your plan for next year, because it's easier to bring in more people. So if you're making a one-on-one presentation over and over and over again, when you can make the presentation, you know, seated in after giving some really extreme value, then you're closing a lot more sales a lot quicker, right? So one of the things you can do when you set that up, either as an educational or networking or collaboration event with a featured speaker, or however you decide to promote that, make it a small ticket amount, but always make it an affiliate, which means that if the ticket is $30 or $20, and then you know someone who has, you know, they have clients and a list and a social media following, and you say, hey, look, if you share this link that's unique to you for my event, you're going to get $10 of my $20 event. And, you know, and this way you give them kind of an incentive to promote it to their people from that aspect. And then you can still ask them to pick up a couple of tickets as a gift, right, for people, because that's a wonderful thing. It's, you know, having that collaboration and having a gift is really wonderful. The other way you can work it is you can partner with a cause and say, look, we've partnered with hospice locally. We have a $20 ticket, but $10 for every ticket is going to go to this organization, right? And then they can share it with their following, you know, and let people know that this is what happened. It's way better than a tin of popcorn and some wrapping paper, right? When you can support a cause with networking and education and giving them real value, and it's a win for you as well. So these are some things to think about when you're talking to people. So your current customers, but also go through your calendar, and hopefully you have it electronically or written down, every single appointment you've had this year. So some of them have yielded you customers. You're going to start there because those people obviously know, like, and trust you. The next thing you're going to do is call back all the people you met with. In January, their life looked a lot different than it does right now. Their finances might be different, their needs might be different, and they also may have run across someone in the course of their meetings, because believe it or not, they've been having other meetings. They didn't just meet with you in January. They've had other meetings since they've met you. And in that, you can even just say, hey, maybe you've had some meetings or gone to some networking events or ran into some groups that you think might be interested in this webinar that I'm putting on that will help XYZ people do ABC, right? And achieve this goal. And then they might be like, oh, I'm ready for that. Or no, I did just go to this a virtual networking, I think. And I think that, and I know the organizer, and I think they'd be really interested in having you speak on that, or, you know, include you in that. So these are some things that can really hyper speed and very quickly get to a sale, because you have some established base with them, right? You're not starting from cold. You've got current customers, you're asking for referrals, you're looking how you can do collaborative relationships with them. And then you're looking at all the past meetings you already had. These people at least had a getting to know you call with you, and they're starting to build a relationship with you. All right, so getting a complete list of what you want for customers in 2022 is a really, really important piece, but it is something you're probably going to do on your 3-day plan. And I'm going to give you some tools on how to do that. Then it is going to be on this last quarter. So we talked about, you know, building this relationship, and there's ways to do it. And, you know, you say to me, well, what if I have more than 50 or 100 or 1,000 customers? There are some great tools out there, things like ringless voicemail drop. So you can send an email. I'm a believer in trying to do things in threes. You can send an email to your client list if it's very, very large. And then and I would do that even if it was small. I would do both the email, the phone call, and typically I do LinkedIn messages because LinkedIn is my space and where my people are and where we communicate a lot. But you might do Facebook messages, right? But you're going to want to send this email. And in my cases, I send a LinkedIn message, and then I also either make the call myself, but I have so many customers. Like I said, I have clients in 8 countries, and we do have a lot of people I would have to call personally if that's what I was doing. So I use a ringless voicemail drop tool where I say, "Hi, this is Jessica. I just sent you an email. I'm just looking to catch up, see how you are doing, and see if we can't collaborate. I'm looking forward to talking to you again soon. There are lots more details in the email. Give me a call back when you can. It's Jessica Koch," and I leave my phone number. Now, that recorded voice message of my voice it seems very intimate and personal, goes out to all the people that we include in that series. And that is very inexpensive to do and can be very powerful. And then, of course, the handwritten note and something you can send in your mail if you have a team, especially. And a lot of the things I am going to be talking about can involve a team. Our firm does sales and marketing consulting, LinkedIn and social media training. And I did mention we have a virtual assistant membership program, because really having those extra set of hands to get some of these communications done for you, whether it's through us or someone else, is really valuable and important. So, all right, so we are going to look at a couple of other things first before we move along. So we're talking about building that list, and I wanted to show you, this is a great ringless voicemail drop service. So if you've never looked at this, you don't even have to have a monthly contract with them. You can do just a one-time hit with them, which is really good. And of course, that is my affiliate link, because one of the things you should also be considering doing when you call your customers that are currently your clients is you should be making sure that all the tools that you use to run your business, whether it's where you host your website, where you get your domain, how you send your email, what CRM system you use. I have lots of tricks in my box for marketing. How do I market to people and how do I communicate with them? All of those tools have an affiliate program. So if you're in software web design technology, there are SEO tools. If you are, whatever you're doing, you're buying and using a tool, 9 times out of 10, that program has an affiliate program. And your client came to you for your specific service, right? My clients come to me for my specific services, but then they're constantly asking me, well, what do you do? And how do you take care of this problem? And how do you fix that? And, as long as you're very transparent about it and upfront, and you share, hey, this is what I use. And hey, they have a great program where if I refer someone, I either get a little love or some brownie points or whatever you want to call it, but it comes down to you get a little bit of compensation. And usually it's not a lot. I hear people say, oh, they're just trying to sell me everything. Well, no, not really, but it really is strategic and logical that if you're paying something monthly and your clients all want you to teach them how to use it and why it works and what you're doing with it, and make life easier for them to use something that's going to make, again, life easier for them, doesn't it make sense for that person to get just a little bit of a thank you for that? And then can you imagine if you did that? You can take all the things that you were paying a monthly fee for, and you're slowly trickling in a small additional revenue stream for them instead of paying monthly and paying monthly and paying monthly. I mean, how many of you are sick of paying monthly for all these services you need to run your company? Do you know QuickBooks has an affiliate program? Do you know, like, everything you're paying, if you're paying for QuickBooks Online to run your businesses and run your invoices, I mean, why wouldn't you do and share that occasionally? Canva, if you're using the pro version of Canva to schedule and post your social media, why wouldn't you tell that to your clients so that they can learn and know that shortcut And then here, by the way, here's my link, and then not have to pay for that every month because, 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 of your customers decided to pay the $10 a month under your link, right? So I want you to think about, we're talking about, well, Jess, you're talking about sales in the fourth quarter. Well, sales is ultimately profit, right? And so it's about bringing in new customers, and it's also about promoting and developing deeper relationships and potentially more revenue stream with current customers. It's also about spending less wherever you can. You get to keep, that's how it works. When you spend less in your business, you actually get to keep more profit, right? And then I talk about, adding a virtual assistant team. Well, like I said, whether it's mine or one you find on your own, and I'll give you a great link for finding one on your own. Actually, it's global, and it's from $1 an hour to $1,000 an hour. You can find people all over the world from every skill set for whatever you want to pay them, pretty much in that price range. And then you say, well, that's spending more money. Well, is it? Because if your time is worth anywhere from, I would imagine your time and your talent in what you're doing in life is worth anywhere from $100 an hour to $1,000 an hour. So if you're doing tasks that someone could be doing for $3 or $4 an hour, then you are losing a large sum of money every time you do that. So that's the other thing to think about. A lot of this is mindset and making sure that you're getting the most profit in this last quarter that you possibly can. And then you're preparing yourself for this next coming wave of quarters and new year and all that jazz, right? All right, so I say LinkedIn is your friend because so we talked about your current customers. We talked about the people you've had meetings with again already. The next group of people really are, and I hope maybe someone will play with us. And I think Lisa, you're a candidate for this. Is put in the chat if you can. If you're in any kind of membership. So are you in a chamber or a national association, or you're a member of any kind of group that you pay to play, if it's a trade association nationally. Matter of fact, I found a couple of good ones that I wanted to share with you. That's the memory. Oh, the memory jogger is a good thing to mention now, actually. One of the things I liked, oh, and here's the association I want to show you. Okay, so one of the things I liked, what you said something to, Chamber of Commerce and Women in Business Network, right? So when you're part of something, especially when you pay it, then you're in the club. And so the other low-hanging fruit really quick for you, and I'll show you here too. So I'll show you a couple of things. Are these places you're paying to play? Okay, because when you do that, you get permission to reach out to each one of these members and say, hey, I'm a fellow member of whatever it is you're paying, right? And I would love to have a brief getting to know you call to see how we can learn more about each other and possibly collaborate or work together. Here's my calendar link, right? And then you also should be sending them, you guessed it, an invitation to connect on LinkedIn if that's a space you're willing to play in at all, or you feel like your business is there. Now, some people say to me, oh, well, Jessica, I do business to consumer, so I don't think LinkedIn is for me. I have to just do Facebook. Well, I would disagree with you because Facebook is wonderful and you may be getting some great customers there, and that's good too. And it doesn't mean you can't also do a little bit on LinkedIn, because guess what? All these businesses that have employees they're actually also consumers. And the best thing about them is they're consumers that tend to have more resources to buy whatever it is you're selling to those customers. And that's not always the case on the people just hanging out on Facebook. I'm just going to say, some of them have resources and some of them don't. But the higher probability when they have a professional profile and they have a professional position or job or own a company is that they're going to have more resources to spend with whatever you're selling. So things like this group here, like this is a National Association of Entrepreneurs. Things like these organizations allow you, and I'm not a part of this one, this is just one I found. And I am actually, our business plan is to join a couple, there's so many. So we're doing some research on which ones we'd like best, but you get the member directory and usually a portal and a login and a way to have this really nice professional non-salesy reach out, non-spammy, and to just get to know how you can help one another, right? So the other thing is, I love this, and Eric is famous for network marketing, but this goes for us too. I mean, whether you're a small business owner or even a mid-sized business owner should be using this concept. Now, maybe we won't call our aunts and uncles, but you should be calling everyone you give money to, right? So if you have someone who fixes your car on a regular basis, that company should be somebody maybe your company should be doing business with. If you buy your cars from a certain car dealership, sometimes those dealerships have 5 and 10 and 15 locations. And if maybe you're a printer and you print business cards or something like that, why shouldn't they consider doing business with you? You're doing business with them. So making sure you're reaching out to all of the people and kind of going through those people in your life. Have you recently replaced your air conditioner? That's not a small purchase in your home, and that company has needs for services and what have you. So just think about all the places you're spending your money. Who holds your business insurance? Maybe, like I said, if you're having one of those webinars or events, whoever you pay your insurance to, you could reach out and say, hey, I'm having this great event. Do you have a customer or prospect that this would be a great ticket as a gift to give to, right? I mean, you are working with them and paying that, your accountant, all these people, right? And so having this, I love this kind of a memory jogger, because it's hard to sometimes think, oh yeah, I got this person, oh yeah. And then now you're able to close out this year with so many more sales. So making sure you're taking advantage of memberships you pay for and this list of people, who helped you get your home mortgage? When was the last time you talked to them? Who was the realtor who helped you sell your house or buy the house you're in? Both going both ways. Your personal trainer, anybody who's done your professional headshot for your business. Reach out to these people and collaborate and ask. If you do not ask, they are not going to help you, I promise. Okay. And so the next one that I really like are groups. Now there's a couple of different really valuable groups in LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you several of them. But you always want to start with the closest, most intimate groups. And some of the most intimate groups on LinkedIn are college alumni. So there, for whatever reason, that has not gone away. It is, even if you're not in a sorority, tried and true, your college alumni, whether they're brand new and just looking at the college, or they graduated, 20 or 50 years ago, these people care about the community, and they feel like because you went to the same college, you are part of a family. And this has even got some strength in the community colleges. So it doesn't matter where you went to school, that can be a really, really powerful group for you. The other ones are anything that's got some sort of cause or connection to it. If anyone gets really up and super excited about it, then you're probably going to be in a group that is going to powerfully support you. This goes for hobbies too. I mean, it also goes for interests. So sometimes it's environmental, sometimes it's Save the Whales, all the Save the Whale people, and I love whales, but they love each other, right? And they're part of the same, they have this like-minded, or even, the animal societies, or the ones that are trying to do something great for education, or, that they've just come together because they believe in something. And typically it's because they have an personal experience connected to something. So that makes them feel very close to you, even though they don't know you. There's also this really sense of loyalty, support, and community with hobbies you may have. So for a hot minute, because I have run a 5K, for a hot minute, I thought I might want to be a runner. I have yet to discover that running is not joyful for me. Walking is much more enjoyable, but I joined a runners group, and when I first joined, I said, I'm brand new at this. I'm just giving it a try. I'm training for my first 5K, and I'm happy to announce I did complete it. I thought there was an ambulance waiting at the end, and I was the last to cross the finish line, but I did cross it alive. But the runners reached out to me immediately in the group and were like, welcome, let us know how we can help you. We'll tell you all the best tips. There's groups on LinkedIn and Facebook for knitting. I kid you not, even on LinkedIn, there's knitting clubs, and knitting is awesome. My Nana was a knitter, and I'd like to learn to knit. It's a cool, trendy thing with the 20-year-old. So knitting is a thing. Bungee cord jumping, campers, people who like to do the RV living, and like all of these kinds of groups, anything that you have a passion about, you want to join those groups and start having conversations with them. And why am I telling you this? It's the last quarter, Jessica, and there's only 85 days and I don't know these people yet. How can this work for me? Well, let me show you how. Because so one of the main groups that I work with on a regular basis are authors, coaches, speakers, online course developers, and we help each other, get more speaking gigs and fill up our events, and we do a lot of collaborative stuff. So one of the things I did, of course, was join a bunch of speaking groups. And I really am a member of a bunch of them. Let me just find one. It always happens when you're doing things live. Did you know that? Need a speaker, be a speaker. Here we go. This one's got 28,000 members, I think. Yep, 28,000 members. I'm a member of the group. Then everybody kind of shares their little post, and they're all about, this topic. And then here's what's powerful about this. So you don't have necessarily time to go reach out and make brand new connections, because first you have to send an invitation to connect, you got to wait for them to actually connect you, and then you got to reach back out, yada, 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 right? But here, if you join some of these groups, what can happen is you can decide, oh, wow, this person right here they definitely look like my person. So let's click on this person. I'm in the same group with this person, right? I can see where they're located. I work with clients and companies all over the world. I have a LinkedIn live show. He has a podcast. Maybe we can trade and be on each other's shows. This is a great thing for me. Number one, there's 3 places on a profile you should be looking for contact information. The first one is under contact info. So we have his Twitter handle here. We have personal websites. So that might land us an email or a phone number even on their websites if we go there. And then here in the about section is another place you can look for calendar links, websites, emails, phone numbers. And then the third place is here. Now, he doesn't happen to have anything other than his websites, but in a lot of cases you will find in one of those 3 places. I guess there is a 4th place. Sometimes this featured information will give a speaker sheet, which will have usually has all their contact information on it and that kind of thing. But here's the deal. Even though we don't have his email address right now, we're in the same group as him. So guess what we can do? We don't have to, gotta get it to cooperate with me here. We don't have to email him because we're in his same group. So we can, I'm not connected to him. He's a second to me. And I only, by the way, use the free version of LinkedIn. So everything I'm showing you is on the free version. I can send him a message and say, hey, we're in the same speaker group. I would love to have a phone conference to see if we can collaborate. I have a podcast also. I do LinkedIn Live and live stream it through several platforms. I've been running that for 4 years. You look like a great candidate to be featured. Here's my calendar link, and send. And I can do that even though we're not connected, which is very powerful. So that's why I'm saying, so here so far, let's recap, because one of my goals for 2021 and into 2022 is to stop teaching people with a fire hose. If you've been in any of my other classes or watched some of my training videos, I am so excited to tell you all the things that I kind of bury you alive. So let's recap. All right. So the fastest way to really high sales for this last quarter, I've been giving you and seeding you ideas to make for your planning day for the whole outline of next year too. So keep that in mind too. But the main things are current customers or clients you've had in the last 3 to 4 years and reaching out to them. And we gave you several ways to do that, both with automation and systems, as well as just manually. So wherever you are in the stage of your business, you can achieve that. Past appointments, every appointment you've had this year, go back and revisit. Again, you should try to make sure your strategy to revisit them is 3-strand, a call, an email, and either a LinkedIn message or a Facebook message, depending on where your audience is and where you have the most connections. Then we're talking about paid places. So the paid places that you pay to play. So your annual memberships, your networking groups, your BNIs, your chambers, any of those national associations you're a part of, anything like that, you're paying. So if you haven't, and the year's almost up here, and you haven't gone through that directory one at a time to reach out to them for some sort of collaboration, then I think you're making a mistake. And then we talked about everyone you pay anything. So we looked at the memory jogger, right? And then asking them, even if they're not the ideal client for your service or product, they might have a customer or prospect that they would buy one ticket to your event, or maybe your book, if you have a book that's published as a gift, or whatever it is you have, you'll be making real sales if you just call and ask. If I had more details, I was hoping that you guys would feel up chatty and up to sharing what you're doing and what you're promoting and what we're trying, so I could be a little bit more specific to your needs. But there's lots of different ways to leverage this, no matter what product you have, whether it's a real physical product or a service, or like I said, a book or a webinar or an event or an online course, the click and buy, whatever it is you have. Those are some really great ways to do that. And then finally, these groups on LinkedIn. So that's current customers, past customers, meetings this year, people you pay, associations and organizations you pay, and then these groups on LinkedIn. So that's 5 things we've covered that are really, really powerful to help get you more sales in this last quarter. So now I want you to consider thinking a bit bigger than that, because I know that we talked about speaking. Podcasts are pretty awesome, because again, if you're not a big on being on a speaking platform or hugely comfortable with that, there's joint venture relationships that you can make for that, as well as podcasts often they don't require your bright and shining face. So I'm going to show you some resources for podcast guesting and some other ways to get speaking opportunities, because again, there's 85 days. So if you could get on someone else's event between now and then, and there's, typically these virtual summits, there are thousands of people that register, buy the upgrade ticket, watch the recordings later, because it gets promoted. Typically there's 30 to 50 speakers on these events, and it gets promoted to all the speakers lists. So it's a very, very powerful place to play. Now, before I jump over into that, actually, I wanted to take a second, and there's a couple of new things on LinkedIn that I think are important to point out. One of which you may have noticed a couple of times, that let me refresh my screen, that my headshot here actually has a video embedded in it. So every now and then you'll see the video, there it is, the video pop up, and you'll see that there's a message in there. So people can click that and they can view your cover story. That's new. That has to be done on your phone. So if you have LinkedIn on your computer and your desktop, and then you have the LinkedIn app on your phone, that is how you record that message. But when people click on it, this is an opportunity.
Hi, I'm Jessica Koch, and I am the Italian mother of 7. I am a LinkedIn and social media trainer, as well as a sales and marketing consultant. Our firm also has a virtual assistant membership program, so we can help you get all those millions of micro tasks done. I've been speaking nationally for 25 years, internationally for about 3. We have clients in 8 countries. So I hope you'll book some time with me on my calendar link below, and we'll learn more about each other. Thanks.
So they give you a lot of leeway to give your little 30-second commercial right inside this space. Now, the other one that does the same thing and shorter, and its original design was to pronounce your name. I always just say my name is Jessica Koch, like Scotch, either the tape or the drink you choose. But, you know, people constantly are wanting to know how to pronounce your name. And so they put this bubble here, this little microphone, megaphone image. Again, you must record this on your phone, but once you've done that and then refreshed it, and then you refresh it on your computer, it shows up here. And they give you a bit more space than just your name. So make sure you use all that real estate.
Hi, I'm Jessica Koch. I will help you grow your profits from seed to orchard. Sell more, spend less, and check out my virtual assistant program.
So you want to make sure that you're doing all the things, all the places you can. And also, if you are considering speaking, you'll see here in the featured area, my very first thing is my speaker sheet. And I also have letters of reference and on and on and on. And so in a speaker sheet, if you're thinking about speaking and that's one of your goals for 2022, and I hope it is, because it is such a powerful way to get more clients, you're going to want to put together something similar to this. And I'll give you kind of a list of things you can have ready to be a speaker, just a short list here. Again, you might want to use this for your 3-day planning session for the outline you have for the next upcoming year. But there's a very short bio here. You can see that. And then these are some of the places I've spoken nationally. And then here are some of my topics. And then here are some of my references. And then, of course, across the very bottom, of course, I have the Zoom toolbar here, but the very bottom has my website, phone number, and email address. So these are just kind of the basic components of what you want to have on a sheet. Now, I suggest 2 to 3 references and always including a small headshot of them as well as their name, because it makes them more like real people. Okay. And so when you speak on these virtual events and even sometimes on the podcast now don't not sign up for something because you feel like it's too overwhelming. And I say there's too many things that you need. Just go and just do it with whatever you have, even if it's nothing but your amazing knowledge in your head for now. Okay. But the things you'll eventually want to have in place, and these again can be in your 3-day session for your big 2022 outline day plan, are your speaker sheet, a headshot, a bio. You're going to want at least 1 really good talk and at least 5 talk titles for that same talk, and then a description of the talk, and then the takeaways, at least 5 takeaways for that talk. And I'm going to give you a great tool right now for those talks. And then I'm going to tell you a bunch of wonderful places, because wouldn't you want to know how easy it is to get speaking engagements? I am just like, I think I'm doing about 50 between, I'm already booked for like 50 summits between now and January. And I already have things on my calendar as far as September 2022. So it is super easy to get booked for speaking engagements. Some of them they pay me to speak, some of them I get to speak to sell, which I will tell you quite honestly, I almost 100% of the time make more when I speak to sell than when I speak and just get paid. And I've done keynotes and all the things, but and I'm not Tony Robbins. I'm not getting paid $20,000 for a speaking gig. So, you know, you got to think about, what's going to be the right fit for you. And truly, every time I speak, I walk away with 3 to 5 clients. So you also need to think about, what is a client worth to you, right? And so you have no idea what you're going to name your talk. And now I told you, you have to have 5 of them, 5 talk titles. I have a favorite one. Here it is. A favorite headline generator. This tool is 100% free, and it's so much fun because it's good for your social media, your name of products, name of your webinars, name of your events, name for your talks, all the different things that you need fun and catchy names for. This is your go-to place to go. Actually, I should stick this in the chat for you. Let me do that now. And by the way, if you wanted to snag, feel free to, actually, let me do that too. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. And once you do that, you'll be able to go to that featured area I had there and actually download my speaker sheet so that you can use it as a guide or a template to make your own. So feel free to do that. And then in this headline generator, let's just play with it. What's your next big topic that you're going to be having taught, Lisa, for the next class that they're going to get? What's the main topic, the main keyword?
The next topic is self-care.
Okay. Self-care. We're going to use that. Should that be a noun or a verb? Maybe it's a verb, huh? Seems like an action word.
That's the overall topic, and then it's like
All
reducing your anxiety during business. So.
All right, so self-care, right? So say that was the topic you were going to teach on, and you get this really great, and not all of them are perfect, but what I will tell you is what they do is they engage your imagination, right? And they help give you ideas for topics. And a lot of times they'll even help give you ideas on blogs you should write, or articles you want to create in the future, even talks you want to create in the future, or products you want to build. So this can be a really exciting space to take some of the keywords of what you're good at and put them in. Here are 10 ways to have better or faster or easier self-care. We have a rule at our house. We've been married a long time. When someone leaves or comes or goes, we always kiss. So here we go. Bye, honey. Have a good day. Then see, that's part of self-care. You got to take care of your family and stick to all your rules. All right, so now that I'm turning a bit red, they have a section for questions, a little known ways maybe to help you have better self-care. Then they have let's see, the celebrity ones always crack me up. Here's business ones, and then motivational ones. Oh wait, how to improve the way you practice maybe self-care before Christmas, right? So you have to throw a word in there. It's not perfect. It's artificial intelligence, but that's a great title, especially because we only have so many days left till Christmas, right? 85 days left in the whole year, so even less till Christmas. So how to improve the way you I had another word to stick in there, self-care before Christmas. But anyway, this is a really good tool, and they give you so many ideas and so many fun and funny ones and catchy ones. And, so this will help you have multiple, and the reason you want to have multiple, you don't want to put multiple titles on your speaker sheet. Just pick one title and put the description and that kind of thing. But the reason you want to have more than one title for your talks is because I speak to so many different groups. And when I lay out I have many talks. You can start with one signature talk is good. But I have many talks. And when you approach that group, one, you can customize it to include something about their industry, right? And that's another way to go. But then you're also going to want to give them a couple of different versions, and they're going to, for whatever reason, the one that it speaks best to their audience and to their following, to their group, is just going to jump off the page at them and go, oh, our people would so love that talk. It's the same talk. It's the title, right? It's what hooks them in and gets them excited. So you might think you have the best title in the world, but it doesn't grab their people, so they're not interested in bringing you in. But if you have a couple of versions of that, then you increase your chances of really getting noticed and doing talks. Now we talked about podcasts being a little bit less intimidating. This is a fantastic website, and it helps match guests to shows. So you can actually just be a member of this. As a matter of fact, I've recently been approached, and I'm on 5 different, and I didn't reach out to any of these shows. Like you can do the thing where you hunt the show and you hunt them by category, and you reach out to the show host and you ask to be on their show. Well, the show host can do the same thing, and they can hunt a guest. And they hunted and found me and sent me messages. And I'm speaking on many podcasts, and I have done many since I've been on this platform. So that is one way. And then I have some other really great ways, and let me share those with you. I have them in another article, and it's this one. All right, so this article I did not too long ago, and this is out of the box ways to promote online courses and events. And one of those ways, of course, is through speaking and social media. There's so much you want to do for social media. You do want to, and in order to increase your sales between now and the end of the year, social media is definitely a way to do that. And what I'll say about that is, be really strategic. So remember how we talked about those, I think we had 5 or 6 key ways that are the lowest hanging fruit and the fastest way to sales between now and the end of the year. And we started with your current customers. So those current customers and past meetings that you had, think about your social media that you're doing. So many people, and there's nothing wrong with this, put out amazing quotes and inspirational books and all of that. What if you tied an inspirational, well-known quote from a famous person in your social media that you were going to post anyway to someone you had had a meeting with throughout the current year, or one of your clients, and made the comparison of, oh, you know, this client inspires me because they always do XYZ, which is so in with this famous quote from, you know, whoever, right? From Jack Canfield. And then you do the post and you do the quote, and then you tag the person, right? Think about ways that you can feature, highlight, promote others, because that may sound counterproductive because you only have 85 days to the end of the year and you've got to make as many sales as possible. But when you do that, people, here's the deal. I said I'm the Italian mother of 7 before. My disclaimer always is, I am not your mama. I'm not giving you legal, medical, or financial advice. However, I will tell you that I raise my kids to do nice things, and not so that you'll get it in return. But I will tell you from my 48 fabulous years of experience that it is a guaranteed side effect. You like pull the string of desire inside someone when you do something kind for them, to have them reciprocate. And here's the even better thing. You can 100% do something for someone with no expectation whatsoever of anything in return from them. And the universe will also naturally pulls the string to send a surprise and a gift to you. Don't blame me. I'm not doing things just to get nice things happening to me, but I'm telling you, I do everything I can with my whole heart for other people all the time. And let me just tell you, the box load of surprises that land on my doorstep on a regular basis that totally blow me away and surprise me every time. So think of ways that you can feature and spotlight people in what you're already doing. So if you're already doing some of these things for the end of the year, how can you not just, you know, no offense, feature or promote some dead guy's book or famous quote or gal, and you can make that more powerful by tying it to someone who's in your world, your community, and your space, and part of your, you know, your business economy, if you would, right? Your customers, the people you present to, your joint venture partners, even causes that. The other thing I do, and I talked about affiliate programs a little bit, and this might be, I don't know where you guys are with that kind of a program. I explained it a little bit, but my classes and my online courses that people can just click and buy also serve as a fundraiser for nonprofits. So if you're thinking of how other people can either gain revenue in collaboration with you or gain fundraising, then you're really doing something powerful. It isn't just to serve yourself. It allows you to feed your family, support your business, and do something good at the exact same time. The multi-millionaire big business have been doing it for eons. They create foundations, they tie themselves to a cause, they have you round up your change, support $1 to St. Jude's, all of that. And you know, some of it's a publicity stunt, if you would, and some people are like, oh, that's just terrible. Well, no, it isn't, because guess what's happening? These causes are actually getting all that money. And so if that means that when I shop at XYZ place and I give an extra $1 and that makes that place look like a hero and makes me want to shop there more, then I think they've done something good. You know, they're employing people, they're a business in the economy, and money's going to a cause. I mean, it's all in your perspective as well, too. And everyone's right, has a right to opinion in that. But I would suggest you think differently and stretch your mindset on that. The other place I would tell you to stretch your mindset is Facebook. This is happening a lot now on Facebook too, but it happens a lot in LinkedIn. And I hear this all the time. Oh my gosh, I got a message in LinkedIn and they told me all the things they did and just sold me. And I just thought that was awful. And I thought, well, okay, except for how full is your calendar right now? And do you want meetings? And you don't know who that person knows. I always flip those conversations around. If someone wants to meet with me to like give me a free evaluation or survey me or analyze me or try to sell me their stuff, I turn it around with, hey, I'm not sure that I'm in the market for your service right now. However, I love meeting new people from all over the world and seeing if we can get to know each other better and collaborate or support one another in some way. If you're interested and open to that, here's my calendar link. And then I let it go. Because guess what? I have had conversations like that. And literally, you know, somehow their LinkedIn mama didn't train them right, and they did verbally vomit on them incorrectly. That's not the best etiquette, and I would never promote doing that in LinkedIn. Don't sell people in the message chat. However, just because they didn't get the right training or didn't know how to approach it correctly doesn't mean they weren't a valuable contact with me. I've turned several of those around. And like I mentioned, I have clients, actually, I think we're approaching 15 countries. I've been saying 8 countries so long, but we've gained some countries. And I just built a relationship with someone who has high level business access to many of both Australia and New Zealand's businesses. And we are going to do a joint venture and collaborate. And I'm going to be featured in front of all of those countries' businesses. And that came from him approaching me incorrectly on LinkedIn. And I could have said, oh, I'm going to delete and block that guy because he's just trying to sell me something. But instead, I said, you know what? Let me send my message the way I send it and turn it around. We had a great getting to know you call. And now he can't wait to do more with me and promote and feature me in a way. Of course, he's going to get a percentage of the revenue because I do affiliates with everything. So which makes him even more motivated to get me lined up and positioned and speaking and in front of his people, because he's going to make money just by introducing me. And that's exciting stuff. And that's something you can do too. I do it with everything from relationships and small businesses to even large companies. Right now, there is a very big, and it is not inexpensive to work with him, but he's fabulous at what he does. He has a telemarketing firm that's United States based, and it's for much bigger companies because their smallest package is like $2,500 a month. And they're the really best at what they do because they combine it with a free gift and an email, and they have only stateside professional callers and yada, 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 right? All the things. Well, I introduced him to a client of mine who I am building a relationship where I'm going to make money just introducing this client to the people I already know and nothing else. And I'll have my team do that. So I'll set it up and train my team, and then I'll do nothing after that and make money from all of the deals that close from that. And on top of that, I introduced the two of them, and I'm going to be getting a nice big fat, not one-time check, but a lifetime of the client for as long as this client uses this service, residual check just for making an introduction. So there's another powerful thing. That's why I said, think about all these services you buy, get an affiliate link, think about your joint venture partners. And if they happen to have a referral program or an affiliate program or some way for you to mutually make money when you refer business back and forth. In most industries, it's very ethical and very common. Now, there are some that, again, I'm not your lawyer. Remember, we discussed this, not your mama. So you have to find out in your industry if that's allowed and what the rules are and what's right and ethical and how it can be done, or if it can be done at all. Most industries, including the really highly regulated ones, it can be done when done correctly. You have to just really, really follow the rules. So don't write it off to say, oh, no, I can't do that because I'm a, financial planner or a real estate investor or insurance agent or whatever. Just really research the rules, because there is typically some way it can be done that follows all the rules. So again, I'm not the professional in those spaces, but I've talked to a lot of them. Really think about that, okay? All right, so speaking opportunities. This is a really great national organization that has conferences in person, and I believe they're doing even some hybrid stuff all over the country. And it's a Small Business Expo, and they do webinars. So they do virtual and in person. Look at, these are all of the cities, and they have some dates here. And I think these are all last year's dates. I might need to refresh this page. I might have had this up before. Anyway, you can reach out to them to get the 2022 schedule. And they have just really some great opportunities. You can submit an application to be a speaker, and sometimes that is going to be virtual, and sometimes it's going to be in person. So this is just a really good one to check out. And then I am teaching another class on 9 ways to get more speaking gigs here. This is a great free event. So there's a whole bunch of free events in this article. Matter of fact, let me just give you this link to this article, if that's okay, because this is a free weekly event where a bunch of speakers come together. And I tell you what, their attendance is so hot, Lisa, it blows my mind. They get, I've never seen less than 30. And the last class, the last Thursday I was on, they had almost 100 speakers from all over the world. And here's their format. They go around the room and they say, anyone who has a speaking platform or a stage for a speaker to speak on, please introduce yourself, say what the event is, and how it works and who your audience is. And so then you get the names, emails, and contact information of how to submit to apply to be a speaker for all these different events. And then they let you go around the whole room again and introduce yourself, and you say what your name is, what your talk title is, who your audience is, and what kind of speaking opportunities you would like. And then you put all your contact in. And then they even, when there's time, because sometimes the group is so large, it's hard, but we do at least 1 or 2 breakout sessions, and we get to intimately more network, and then everybody gets to follow up afterwards. It's fantastic. The same with, this one I'm going to take you to. This is a space, and there's not too many of these. A lot of the directories where you can be listed with a profile as a speaker. Of course, you should put that on LinkedIn, because that's a free place to list yourself as a speaker. But this is an actual speaker directory where organizers and event planners and things like that go to find speakers. You can set yourself up a profile on this platform 100% for free, and be found to and be reached out to to do a speaking engagement on whatever your topic is. And this one's for health. There's all kinds of ones for parenting, and there's all kinds of topics. So don't think your topic isn't one that is going to be good for speaking, because people talk on everything. People talk about senior living and how to, shine in your golden years, to like how to be the best parent, to how to transition in your business. And then of course, a million business topics, right? There is another one. Most of these are free, but this one's $20, but it is speakers. Again, they're international. It started in California, but now they're all virtual. All the events from now on are going to be virtual, and they're speakers from all over the world. And I've gotten so many good clients from this one. And you get a higher caliber here because everyone is paying a little bit to show up, and that makes some kind of big difference. This is another one that they have several free events a year, and that is really amazing. Now, we were talking about growing your sales as fast as possible in this quarter. And, maybe you say to me, "Oh, Jessica, I have beat my customers like a dead horse already. I've called them all. And I've called all the people that I met with this year. Now what? I need to meet more people. I only have 85 days because you keep telling me I only have 85 days. So how am I going to meet new people so that I can present?" Again, if you want to speak, I have a bunch of private introductions. I can email introduce you. I would need to know what level of speaking you have, but because I have to protect my reputation and who I introduce people to. But we could talk about, how I might be able to help you actually get on one of these virtual summits. I am speaking on so many, and it's a lot of fun and really great. So speed networking is a really great way to meet a lot of people really fast, because time is not on our side necessarily, right? Most of these are, you can see online. And look how well attended they are. 560 attendees are already signed up for this one, for the 13th, Lisa. Does that not blow your mind? 98 attendees, 70. So you can see where people want to spend their time. They want to learn about how they can be featured and speak virtually, and they want to meet as many people as humanly possible and as fast as possible, right? So, and most of them, like I said, are free, and they're all on different topics, right? This and only not awkward welcome. I love this one. Look, virtual speed networking, like speed dating, only not awkward. All welcome. There's already 50 attendees signed up, and you're going to have a 30-second commercial. So you got to practice yourself doing that. And let's go take a look at this one, because that one cracked me up. All right, so here's the other cool thing you can start doing. You can reach out and make relationships with people who are putting on these kinds of events, because they're building a following, right? And you want to have relationships. Look, they gave the Zoom link right here. So that means it's totally free. It's totally online. And then you can bring your own booze. These people are fun. Bring your own appetizers. It's on Zoom, people. Of course, you're going to bring your own beverage. But it sounds like it's business professionals from all over, and they're trying to do something fun and drive traffic in to do it. So why not show up to somebody else's party and get an opportunity to tell 50 different people what you do, and then they may have ideas of how you can either collaborate, or they might want to be your customer, So I think that's a very exciting option for you guys, and I'm hoping that your calendar will allow you to squeeze some of that time in, because I think you'll really, really be happy you did. So now let's take a look at where we are in my really fun non-death by PowerPoint presentation. So from current slide. All right, so we were talking about growing relationships and sending that automated, but I like going into those real sites and giving you these different tools and resources, is because I think it's so valuable. All right, so I hate the term human capital and leveraging a relationship, because relationships are just, to me, love and health and time and joy and gratitude. These are like the reasons for existence. and your relationships, in my opinion, are your most valuable. But those people who love you and who are part of your business or part of your community, they really do want to help you. And so you need to make sure that you're doing everything you can to, one, help them and give that reciprocity, and to also make some of those asks. So some of the things you might want to think about, especially as you're planning out your, I keep telling you how sacred these 3 days, I'm challenging you guys to give yourself are to plan for the next year. And when you do that, ask yourself, do you have an annual goal for maybe how many Facebook reviews or page likes you want, or how many reviews do you want on your website or your Google review? Where you need to decide, first of all, probably about 3 places you want to build up reviews for the benefit of your business, because you really can't ask everyone to go 17 places. And now look how many ways there are they can write. If you have a book, they can write a book review. If you have a website, you can have a review on your website. If you have LinkedIn, of course, which I say you should, then you can have written recommendations on LinkedIn. They could do a written letter of reference for you. They could do a video testimonial for you. They could do a Yelp, a Google, a Facebook. I mean, subscribe to your YouTube channel. Like, it gets to be a lot of things, right? You can also think about how you can magnify that, right? So if you ask them to write a written letter of reference on corporate letterhead or organizational letterhead for you, and then copy and paste that into a LinkedIn reference for you as well, and then just get their permission to take a quote from that and put it on your website, then you've been able to amplify that in a couple of places with one effort on their part, right? And then but also deciding where is your goal, and then how many of your goal is. And then also do please, this is just my opinion, but I think finding a cause to connect to, or even I know clients that I'm working with and we're designing business plans for their next year already, and they're going to be featuring, they have 2 speed networking events a month because these are hot right now, and they're featuring a joint venture partner and a cause at every one. So they're giving a 5-minute spotlight to feature a joint venture partner who is going to, so at the speed networking event, the person who's doing it announces, hey, I've got this event that's coming, and here's the cost of the ticket. Anyone who buys a ticket today, our featured joint venture partner is going to give a free bonus of their $200 class to as an incentive for anyone who buys this event today. And then guess what you're going to do? You're going to go to that joint ventures partners event someday and help promote their event that their class that they're trying to sell, and you're going to give a free bonus of whatever you have to their people who buy their ticket today. This is a relationship that is symbiotic, right? It's the whole, it always cracks me up, the birds on top of alligators. Who knows those get along and get together? But anyway, things that work together and support one another for success, right? And that's how that can work. And then you also feature that cause, and that cause then can get a portion of the proceeds of those tickets that are bought that day. So you are a hero and wonderful because you're going to buy our class. This cause here that we're featuring in the speed networking event is going to get some money, and you're special. And I just made my joint venture partner a hero because they're giving only people who buy it today this free amazing gift. So you see how you just made a triple win or a quadruple win, because it's a win for the person participating too. This win goes so far, so much further than you making more money by the end of the year. And this should be incorporated into your plan for the full year. So my clients who are doing that, that's 2 charities a month and 2 joint venture partners a month. Over the course of the year, that's a big deal. And if each one of those causes and joint venture partners also shares their list, posted on their social media, do you see the magnification of the power? Even if that joint venture partner only had 100 or 1,000 people on their email list, keep multiplying. And same with those causes. They have people who support them and contribute to them, and that they serve, and they're all on their email list, and they're following their social media, and they're going to make a shout out about you. That's not why you're giving to give because it's good, but it has these guaranteed side effects. And then also think about how many and how you can stay consistent with your LinkedIn lives, your Facebook lives, your YouTube lives, whatever podcasts and things you're doing. I love to use them to feature people. So we've been doing Profound Professional Interview Series for almost 4 years now. We feature a profound industry leader who's doing out of the box things. And we also feature them that they're profound because they're doing something amazing for their community or the world at large. So I am featuring this amazing person. We are also spreading awareness about a cause, that it, you know, that it exists and what it does and what the website is. And, you know, we're not necessarily in that interview raising funds, but raising awareness brings huge value too. So just think about the things that you can do that are free and that are easy. Just think also about scheduling time to do this stuff, because even when, and I have an army of people that support me, I still have to put on my calendar to do some things. Like I want to make sure that I write at least 5 written letters of reference or LinkedIn recommendations or book reviews every single month. And I love for the people I write them for to just find them as a surprise, right? Or feature them and talk about them on a gratitude spotlight where I jump on live and talk about how powerful someone's service or how they showed up for me or what they did that's wonderful, and feature them and then just tag them and let them find it, you know? And I think that those kinds of things really go a long way for people becoming, I mean, some people don't like this term, but being your community or your tribe or whatever you want to call it, the family, the business, the colleagues that genuinely care about your success and are there helping push you. You know, what is it? The something about boats rising in a tide. There's some really beautiful saying, but it's all about when the water lifts up, it carries all the boats with it that are there. And I just feel like that's just such a beautiful image. One of these days I'll get the saying right. So now the next thing is tracking. If you don't know, then you can't know, right? So one of the things I always say when I do a class is if you're not there, they can't find you. If you don't tell them, they can't know. If you don't schedule, it won't happen. And I've kind of been drilling these things into you for the whole time. Get in a speaker directory, make sure you're on LinkedIn. If you got to be there to be found. And then you have to tell them what your wow statements are, why you're wonderful. And you have to schedule time for things or it's not going to happen. This is the same with tracking. If you have no idea what's going on in your business, then you're going to have no idea whether you ended your sales this quarter with a bang or not, or with a fizzle. You have no idea because you didn't track it. You have to keep track of, you know, where your best clients are coming from, why they're coming to you. You have to know how many meetings it took you to get that many customers, or how many speaking engagements you had to speak on in my case, or whatever it is you're doing and how you're doing it to get them. You need to know how many came from referrals, you know, and are you nurturing that referral relationship? What have you done for me lately? Has that song has meaning in the referral world, right? I mean, if they're sending you referrals and you haven't sent them a thank you card or shown appreciation or value or returned the favor or whatever the thing is, then, you know, you're going to start looking not so good soon. So, there you have it with that. Okay, so we talked about speaking opportunities, and there are also things to consider when you're dealing with clients and speaking and emails and calls. Not everyone has the same personality type, and they also don't all have the same value structure, and words matter to them. So making sure you either know what those personalities are and what words are the hottest trigger for that customer and how to communicate with them or prospect, or you want to make sure you have a nice balanced sprinkling where you're touching most personality types. So some want, you know, all the details of the information. So maybe you give a way for that person to get all that information, because other people want it to be bullet point, short and sweet and concise and to it, and let's go. And that's your action person. And truthfully, that is the number one person you want to attract, because people who take action buy stuff. They don't just think about it all day. Well, let me think about that. How many of those clients have you heard of, and heard from? You don't want a ton of those. You want the ones that are going to take action and pull out their credit card and say, this is a no-brainer. I need to start working with you. So you want to do things in a concise, efficient way and show them the transformation of how it's going to get them where they want to go when you're thinking about your messaging for the different personalities. And that goes into, and that's the type A, that's that action person. They want to know that they're going to have the VIP treatment, that this is going to solve their problems, they're going to have a solution immediately, and that it's in line with their goals, and it's going to make it faster and easier for them. And that is the essentially always the person you want to be leading through your funnels. And then this one is my other favorite person, and because this is me, it's the one who wants to collaborate with you and do everything for the community and work together. And, and using those kinds of terms draws that person in, but I still, time freedom is my number one. So I'm a, kind of a community nurturing person and an action person second, and so you need to think about, am I giving too much technical information, or because that's going to be your kind of your more of your blueprint person, the person who wants the step-by-step and the information, and they want to know you have all these accreditations and degrees and certifications, and all those things are valuable and good too, but I would just give a sprinkle of that, because those people who are really deep in the weeds with this, as well as the this is my favorite person because I'm married to him, who wants all the science and the facts behind it, they're loyal, true and lifelong customers typically, and your most knowledgeable customers of what you do to refer you, but they're also the slowest to ever buy from you. So your blueprint people who want the step-by-step, and your knowledge people, you want to have a sprinkle of that in your messaging so that you are pulling them in a bit and give them the ability to get more information if you want. But you want to lead with your action takers, and well, just because it's me and it's my favorite person is the nurturer, because they're also going to introduce you to a million people and want to collaborate with you and promote you and help you, and because that's just their personality type. So give this some thought when you are thinking about things. Also think about the psychology of why people buy, and the psychology of the sale, what moves them to action. Interesting thing, whether you're dealing with a consumer or a small business or even a very large Fortune 100 company, they will tell you what their buying signals are, because they put it out in press releases, they put it up on their social media, there are buying events and things that occur in people's lives that are buying signals, and they're really easy to gather now. In the old days, we had to be short of stalkers, we had to be like private investigators, and we had to figure it all out. But now it's plastered all over the social media, press releases, and the public news for us to hear and see. So when a company, say you want to deal with a big corporation, maybe that's your dream. If they put out, we just updated our website, or we just launched a new program, or we just landed a new contract, or all of these things are buying events and signals. Because if I just landed a new website and built a new website, what do you think I want? I want more people to go to this new website. And so what might I buy? Well, maybe you sell those business printed tchotchkes with my website on it. So maybe I'll hand out and mail out and send more of those to my customers, because we just spent, $10,000, $100,000 to update our website. We want people to go there. So maybe they'll buy advertising space in your magazine if you own a magazine. Maybe they'll buy, so just think about when they tell you something about their business, what kinds of things, if it was my business and I just did that, would I be purchasing, right? Maybe they moved office locations. Well, that opens up the jar for all kinds of, maybe you're a feng shui office business layout specialist. You need to get your buns in there so that when they get moved in, settled in with all that new furniture, everybody's at peace and most effective and efficient in their workspace. Don't laugh, this is a thing. People are buying this. Excuse me. Maybe you sell office furniture, or whatever it is. If someone's moving locations, there's things that are going to be purchased. There are sales that are going to happen. The question is, are you going to be part of that equation? You need to pay attention to is the other really, really, really good idea. So solving a pain, pulling out an emotion. Look, they put cute little Girl Scouts out with really fattening cookies outside of buildings in the heat of the summer and the pouring of the rain for a reason. Because guess what? They pull on your little heartstrings and you buy 5 more boxes than you meant to. And they're sitting in your freezer because there's an emotional buy there, right? Fear of loss. You don't want to miss out on something. If a billboard says this could be your competitor's ad here, guess what? You know, if you're the local big shot commercial real estate agent, you certainly don't want to drive that past that billboard every day to get to your house and see their glaring face at you, right? And then also keeping up with the Joneses. Even the C-suite does this. Even the high level companies do this. If you find out in an industry that, say, software technology companies that have a lot of work from home team members are now doing virtual self-care webinar support for their team members in that industry, then you can reach out to others and say, we know a lot of the people in your industry are starting to provide this to and see the value to support their employees with this service and this additional support based on, you know, everything that's going on emotionally for individuals who work from home a high amount of time, right? Or whatever the stats are. So when they find out, oh, well, our competitors or other people in our industry are doing this, well, we better take a look and see if we should. This is a keeping up with the Joneses. Oh, they've got that nice red shiny car in there. What kind of car do we have? I think our car is looking sort of old, you know, when the neighbor has a new car. So also to be a hero, allow your customers to be a hero. And we talked about that earlier. They want to be able to have something great for themselves, but also do something great for someone else. And whenever you give them that opportunity, it really helps them in their buying decision. And you know, and filling in holes they need. And they also really want to feel like it's their idea. And one really great way for you to do that is to make sure you're doing the, hey, I have this amazing thing that's happening. You might know someone that, and then share it that way, because then they can decide, oh, wait, she's describing me. That's me. Wait, I'm raising my hand. And that's kind of how you help make it their idea. And then I just wanted to check where we are time wise. So we're doing okay. So then you also can use some of these. I love these starter phrases. These really help. And you can even change the you to someone. If you know someone who would love to, you know, if you know someone who really, it's time to XYZ, or do you know someone who's just really tired of, or, you know, I love the can you imagine. You typically can weave that into some of your presentations, or you're talking somewhere. Do you know someone who really feels like they're drowning in, you know, or do you notice, have you ever noticed how it feels when, you know, I love that one on too, because that's very close to imagine. Do you know someone who's interested in XYZ? I always change the you, and I should have done it on this slide, to the someone else, because it really takes the pressure off them. Nobody really wants you to ask them that question. You want to talk about someone else, because, you know, it's the old game of, well, I have a friend who, and we all know who the friend is, it's them, right? When they're telling you this really embarrassing problem they don't want to admit is theirs, and they're looking for a solution. So think about that when you're in the way you present, right? Okay, so just a little bit of a recap again. Okay, we talked about current clients or clients in the last 4 years. We talked about meetings that you've had recently. We talked about organizations that you pay money to be a member of the club for. And we also talked about people that you pay and are the member of whatever their product and service is. And then we also talked about groups in LinkedIn and in Facebook that are your tribe and your people, because even though you don't know them yet, like I said, I am in a lot of speaker groups, and because we're all speakers, we all have the same challenges and struggles and, you know, and excitements and, you know, really great connections of wonderful places to speak. So it's a wonderful place for us to hang out and try to get to know one another. And then trying to keep things organized in some sort of spreadsheet, database. I will take a yellow notebook with a piece of paper, just as long as you have all of it organized in one place. That is a start. I don't want to overwhelm you to think you have to do everything today, but do try to keep track of how you're communicating and when you're communicating with them, even if it's like you're just making notes, like I said, and making sure you're doing things to feature and support them, and making sure you're taking that time to realize what kind of values and what kind of words that are going to help with the buying decision. And I also, here's the deal. You want to not overwhelm yourself, right? But you do need to figure out, again, how you're going to get enough meetings to really meet the number of customers that you like. And then having that research done in advance, especially when you look at what your ultimate goals are, and especially when you're looking at that whole new year. You know, I gave you a lot of really quick things you can do, like the speed networking and the reach out to all these people, and I gave you easy and automated ways to do it. But then you're going to really look at what are all the things you're going to do for next year. And if you found something that's bringing you a ton of customers already, and that's been like the number one thing that's bringing you customers, then ignore the entire vast list of ways to get customers and scale that one, and maybe I'll only add one or two other additional new ideas, because I never want to say you don't want to have fresh ideas or multiple ways to bring in clients, but you've got something that's working and it isn't broken. Well, you know what they say about that, you know, don't fix it and scale it, right? Continue to bring in more customers by doing more of whatever that is. And if it isn't a scalable thing, because it's one-on-one meeting, because there's only so many hours in a day, there's only one-on-one meetings, then think about having how you might present that same one-on-one meeting in a group environment, whether that's speaking on someone else's stage or having your own little webinar or event that you're planning in to your process. So I know we're getting close to lunchtime and everyone's probably getting tired of me talking, but we already talked about amazing referrals from people and the memory jogger. And then here is just some kind of suggestions on, I'll make sure you guys get, if they want it, well, they're going to get a copy of the video, right? The other thing that we didn't talk, yeah, they'll get a copy of the video. So then you'll have all this information in front of you. That's easier than dealing with slides, believe me. The other really great thing to do is, if you're not in already a mastermind or an industry exclusive networking group, and there's some people love and there's some people don't care for, and there's all different ones. And here's the good news: you can put it in your plan, just make your own. So think about the people who are your very best referral partners. And I did an example because my husband's a licensed general contractor. That's what he does for a living. And so these are some of the people who have been the best referral partners for him. And he's actually in a group that has these, you guessed it, people in it. And he gets almost all his referrals from that, and vice versa, because he's able to return the favor. So having that kind of mastermind group, and if you start it yourself, it could cost nothing at all, and it can be made with all the people who are already, you kind of have a base start for that, but then list out the other people that would be really logical. And I'm kind of a believer in anywhere from 5 to 15 is a great number for this group. If you get too far past 20, you kind of get into the weeds of diluting it. You really kind of want to have that powerful mastermind experience and really good relationships. And then you just need to decide how you're going to meet. And then you can be also this great support for each other with testimonies and all of that. And then don't forget to give gratitude. This is like, I've talked about it all the way through. It is a 100% one of my beliefs and how I live my life of, doing anything I can to give. Another great gift to give is not just tickets to maybe your joint ventures classes or events or services as a gift, but also to, again, back to the charity event. So if there's a local charity having an event or doing a fundraiser, you could gift to your prospects or your clients tickets for that. And again, you're building relationships on both sides for that. And then all of course, the social media shout outs and featuring people in your email newsletter and just all these different ways that you can support one another. And we've already been through that. Why did it go back? Did it go backwards? Aha. So, networking events. This is a really great one. So this one has local events. This one has local events. This is a great website too. I might need to pull it up the old fashioned way, but it's all our area, and a lot of the events again are either free or inexpensive, but you can go to places like Meetup and Eventbrite, and we already showed you how to search events, especially the virtual ones, on LinkedIn. And now my computer is stuck and spinning, so that's exciting when that happens. So number one rule when you're in a PowerPoint presentation, don't click on a URL link, especially if you're running a Zoom and sharing your screen, because the little thing may spin for a very long time. That's funny. All right, so at this point, is there any questions for the moment while I give my computer a minute to give it some thought?
I was going to say it's done very well, because you've been clicking on all kinds of things.
I know, and now it's decided to give us a hot break for a hot minute. So does anyone have any questions, comments, something you've loved, you've learned so far?
You can just unmute yourself.
Is anyone brave enough to talk? I hope you're enjoying it so far, Stella.
Nick was in here, but he had to jump off, but I'm going to send it to him the rest of the presentation because he was putting things in the chat earlier, thanking you for different links.
All right, well, this one is a good one. So this is the Networking Advocate, and this covers the Baltimore, Virginia, and DC area. But truthfully, now that things have gone virtual, they have global virtual events that show up all over the world as well. And they'll actually let you put your events up on this site, which is why I feature them for free. So this is a phenomenal tool in that respect. So, and I feel like we were getting stuck because we've been through some of these slides and I felt like we were going the wrong way. We're going the wrong way. But you know what? That's okay, because we only have a few minutes left. And one of the other things I want to share with you, I'm going to share with you a couple of things. So if I didn't already, I'm going to give you this link. This link is a website that is global. It is where I find the majority of my people when I'm trying to source someone for a virtual assistant. Now, of course, I have my own program, so if you want to work with us, great. But if you didn't, this is a way that you could find your own person. They're global. They're anywhere from $1 to $1,000 an hour. You can decide your price point. You can decide the task you need them to do, and it's free for you to set up an account and post a job and search for a person. It's free for the freelancer. So I'm a consultant. I own my own consulting company, and I am on the site both as an employer and a job poster as well as a freelancer. How they make money is how a lot of these sites make money, including PayPal. So they only get paid if you choose to hire someone and you pay them, and then they receive, they take a little bit of that payment. Just like if you were to hire the person and pay them through PayPal, guess what PayPal does? They take a little bit of that payment, right? And so that's how they get paid. And this one is really good because then they're also time tracking and all of these kinds of things. Thank you, Stella, for the beautiful comments and the in the chat. I really am grateful for that. So you want to make sure I gave you so many things to do and so many resources, and it does feel like a lot, but it is helpful when you have help. I'm just going to say another really great, and this we'll close off on this, Lisa. Another really great resource is check out what your libraries have to offer. Now, not all library systems, because here's the deal. You think, oh, it's free because it's from my library. No, your library paid a lot of money for you to have access to these resources. So please, first of all, use your library card and get one. Second of all, when you use one of their great and amazing resources, thank the librarian and tell them you want them to continue to purchase it, because if you do not, guess what happens? They stop buying it. And if you tell the local librarian, they know the committee who makes all those decisions, they will pass on the message. And there are so many business resources. And I had to, this is the last county in the state of Maryland I could find that is paying for this service at the time when I was looking for it. So that might not be the case now, because they renew their contracts and change their contract with different services all the time. But this is my favorite one. A to Z Databases is a business directory that is all across the country, that with my lot, that is, it would be thousands of dollars for me as a business owner to buy it. But for me, because this library chooses to let me have a library card because I have a Maryland state driver's license, and they choose to buy it, it gives me access to resources that I wouldn't otherwise have. A matter of fact, the other thing to know is if your state doesn't have A to Z databases, you can actually call them and find out if there's a county in your state that pays for a contract with them, and then you can find out how to get a library card with them. Or I also found out, because like I said, I was down to one state in the state of Maryland when I was calling, that Virginia had it and Maryland didn't, but you could purchase for $20 a year the ability and the right to have a Virginia state library card. So there's ways, there's more than one way to find an opportunity here. Now, if we were going to go with, hey, there's my friend, how's it going? If we were going to find a county and maybe we always want the headquarters, maybe we're looking for a certain employee size and annual revenue. And then you can even go women owned or privately publicly held. Or you could even check off you want the Fortune 1000. So you really have a lot of control of different fields and different research tools. So let's just go with, I'm 2 hours from Baltimore, but let's just go with Baltimore for now. We want headquarters in single location because that's where the decision makers live. We want them, based on the service I'm going to do, leadership training. So I want them to have, at least this many employees so that there's some leaders for me to train. And then I want them to have, at least this much money, because guess what else I want them to have? I want money. I want them to have money to pay me. That's like a very convenient thing to have when you're trying to sell something to someone. And see, this is a nice number. Anything less than 1,000 is a good research result. So you want to try to play with your filters and your features and your choices so that you're getting what you want, but you're getting it less than 1,000. And then you're going to hit search. And the really wonderful thing about this is when you set up an account with them, your library card gets you in, but then you can set up another username and password inside of this platform and save your searches, right? You can export this to an Excel sheet. So say you wanted to do some work maybe with Under Armour. And here you see their website. Here you can see how many employees they have, when they were established, are they publicly or privately held. You can also see a description and any job postings they have. Here's their coding. Here's press releases. Remember I said people tell you what they're up to and what they're buying actions and functions are and what they might want to purchase now by putting it out on social media and in press releases. And then here you have it. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Easter, Mazel Tov, whatever your thing is. I just gave you names and email addresses. Now, this is just your first stop in your research. When you're thinking about who you want for 2022, you want to think about who's your best customer? How do you find out about them? And you want to spend a little bit of time researching them. If you're expecting them to give you money in your bank account next year, then you need to expect to invest a little bit of time in researching them. So I check this site and then I pull together a nice list of usually 50 to 500 potential clients I really want to work with. And then I also cross-check their website, then LinkedIn, and I do a little bit of Google, and sometimes I'll put a call for speaker in, and I'll narrow it down to these are really the top 100 businesses that I want to nurture, get a first appointment and presentation with, figure out how to support and help them reach their goals and what they're trying to achieve based on their mission, their vision statement on their website, what they're putting out, and again, in their social media posts or their press releases, as well as paying attention to what cause and charity they support. So if you can start looking at all of those things and connecting to those people on LinkedIn and coming up with a strategy to get your foot in the door for that first presentation, and you design that plan, you're going to have so much more success in 2022 by the time you hit the fourth quarter than you did when you didn't do that. So I gave you some really fast action steps that you can make more money just this quarter. And I seeded you through with some ideas and some thoughts of things you can do in order to have a really amazing year next year. So I am going to leave that with my great big thank you slide, and thank you and the organization and Bunky and Lisa for having me as a speaker again. It's been my pleasure, and hopefully I haven't gone too fast and I've shared enough information of things you can actually take some bite-sized actions with and go from there. I'm going to give it back to you, Bunky.
Thank you, Jessica. A lot of information there. I've been listening in the whole time. I've had a few other things to do, but a lot of information, a lot of good information. I will be sending out an evaluation, and I would encourage everyone to fill it out. We are Maryland Capital Women's Business Center. We are a nonprofit, and it's your responses to the evaluations are very important to us, and that way we can keep things going and maybe present more webinars like this in the future. And we appreciate you, Jessica, for all you do for us, because I know Lisa's been working with you for years. I've been associated with you, I guess, for a couple years, but and we always appreciate your input and your valuable information. So does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to ask while we still got a few seconds?
It has not been a very chatty bunch, I'll have to say, Bunky.
Oh,
They're all hiding, and they're all,
everybody's hiding.
I do
Lunchtime, but I guess everybody's hungry too. So
that is lunchtime. So I did have some beautiful comments in the chat, and I'm very grateful for all of those. So thank you for people who took the time to say something kind in the chat. That's really greatly appreciated.
okay, well, I guess if there's nothing else, I guess we'll look forward to the next one, Jessica.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.